let's see. Jack and Sally.
Jack and Sally. See, I don't even know half these things. You know, I don't watch TV much. Jack and Sally. Oh, yeah.
Jack. No finger, of course. You want to make sure that you have some no wipe top coat on before you do Jack. Because you're going to use pigment. I take out some white polish.
And this one too. You didn't take your, I'm getting ready to start a new nail design, sip of water. Yeah, we'll get you more.
Try to think of what else should be in this set. So let's draw his face first.
Face first.
Okay, so let me use a liner brush. It seems to, it's gonna be easier if I use a liner brush. I'll draw the outline of his face, which should be from here to here. This is his face outline.
So you're gonna draw it with a liner brush.
Yes.
How's that not really still painting? I feel like I'm confused.
Yeah, you paint it. You paint the outline.
Or is just making them feel more secure about, like if we were drawing somehow that was gonna be,
Easier.
yeah.
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 But two.
But ultimately they were still painting.
Right.
Okay.
One curve. Swirl a little bit.
Oh, Jiggy's birthday's August 11th.
So what's that make her? What sign is she?
Oh, Leo.
She a Leo?
Mm-hmm.
Of course she is.
Oh, I think they had a question. No, they answered it. Yeah. Trying to take this down. Oh my gosh.
And then I'm gonna fill it in.
Oh. Now, Olivia Newton-John moved on today.
Oh,
No.
I love her. Physicals.
Honey,
I wanna be physical. Why? She have scandal?
no.
Oh.
But you know, it's my belief. I mean, she's definitely, moved on, and moving on is never, and she didn't have a horrible life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for that one thing. Oh my God, yes.
Physicals. I like to get physicals.
Who are you? Who's your next favorite lady singer like that?
My next favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson.
No. Lady singers, honey.
Oh, let me think of something.
Oh, no.
Madonna.
Around her time.
Around her time.
Mm-hmm. Stevie Nicks, honey, come on.
Stevie Nicks, yes.
You know you love you, Stevie
Love
Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. Etta James.
When we're living in the 70s.
Yes.
Honey, you're drawing awful quickly here. Could you slow down a little bit?
Oh, I just draw some white blob. It's just a start of Jack. It's not quite Jack yet. Just not a start. Sally on this side.
Sally.
Mm-hmm.
So you're making them a separated couple.
Yes.
So your client comes in with that picture there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're charging, this is where it's good to charge per set, because the tight lady's going to try to get you to draw both of them
In one nail.
on one nail, and then she's going to have like half the size of nails of this to want you to do it on too. But if you're just doing it as a full set price, you can just string that stuff out, right?
So this is Sally. His face needs to be just a tad bit bigger.
Well, it took me almost an hour to draw the face. His face alone on a Halloween set, you make it look so easy. You really are.
It's just a little white blob.
It's just a little white blob. Just a little white blob. Tino, do you not have a link for your Amazon favorites for nail products?
I should be
Well,
very soon because Cindy put it on Amazon.
Okay. How much do you charge for something like that?
Back then, when I still working, I charged about 150 to 200.
And then, no entrada nada de si en inglés. Okay, I suggest to study nail theory from My Lady or Quizlet. So when the time comes, it'll be easy. No, it's not. The mouths and eyes are so tedious.
Okay, clear this. And then now I need a gray pigment. Because
Gray.
his face have blended, like this part is grayish. Her face, I need to mix like this. I would say this turquoise, but it's also grayish too.
Also grayish.
So I need to mix it. So I take out pigment, super pigment.
So you're looking for like a progressive gray.
Right, this gray is a purplish gray, so I add purple. Add low yellow in the purple.
Here we go.
More yellow in the purple.
More yellow in the purple.
So it can turn out like a gold colors.
Like a gold. It looks very, very fallish right now.
Yeah.
And then just with a fell swoop, you're going to turn it into...
And then I'm gonna
Evil.
add blue on it to make gray.
Oh, it's happening. Oh my goodness. Wow, it's like a magic trick. Honey, I think you could get a Vegas show and just be like, whoosh.
It is a magic trick.
It really is.
No.
That was kind of fun. You could be the next new makeup artist, baby.
Around his mouth, I need to put pigment on it. Ooh, this one I put a little too much.
Too much. It doesn't look like too much.
Then a little shadow for his head. Put it right here. Let's see what color to do on her. I need blue and a yellow.
What pigments are those?
These are blue and yellow pigments. So I can make a teal color for her.
Teal. I love you.
Put it in. Okay.
You know, I'm watching this side conversation between Coco Bunny and Violet Rose. And let me tell you, you know, before you're worrying about which I've seen Coco Bunny's nails, you've got skills, girl. But the clients will come. You just keep learning, keep getting better and better. Build your portfolio correctly. Don't move too fast. And before you know it, you'll be just turning down everybody and you'll be working too many hours. But when you're loving what you're doing, you're not working too many hours.
You just have to be really good.
Yeah.
That's why when I do something extra, people usually question. They'll be like, do you have to do this? But that is a wrong mentality when you start.
Because, you know, well, a lot of people might want to spend time trying to figure out how to advertise themselves. But the truth of the matter is, as long as you got one client and badass skills, they're going to go out there and everyone's going to notice them, see them, love them, and ask them where they got it done. And can they get in? And then that starts the process of getting trampled. Is that about right, baby?
When I tell someone, because when I teach someone, right, I usually teach them a little extra. Just so they can have that. I see two types of response. First response is, yay! The second response is, do I have to do that? No, you don't. You don't, but you are not a nail artist. You will never be successful with that mentality. Do you have to do this? This means there's no passion into it. That means you don't like it. You're just in it for a quick buck. And that's what you're going to get is a quick buck. Because you can do you and me, we can do the same design. Using the same technique, we can be both correct on our technique. But one of our design is going to be way better than the others. Does that make any sense?
It does to me.
You have to be good for you to make demand. If you're not good, you can't make your demand. Just because you follow just because you take a technique and a skill and you follow it exactly the way it is, that doesn't mean that you have tried your best. your attention to detail have to be in your lines. It have to be in the way you stroking your brush. If I draw a butterfly and you draw the butterfly, it can be very similar because we both using the same step. But one of our design can be way better than the others. That is how your design.
Because there's a passion in it?
Well, you and the guy down the street can do the same things, really. And if your work is not way better than his, then you cannot name your price. Then you have to worry about the fact that your client gonna go to him instead of you. So now you in a subservient position where you have to bargain pricing now instead of focus on your art. You have to bargain pricing because you have competitor. So when I say you have to do exactly like it, there is two type of people. One who push a limit, so yet the design can be as beautiful as can get. The other will be wanting to take shortcut, just want to get it done really fast. Those people are the ones that only look for a quick buck, and that's what you will get is a quick buck. You will never get rich. If that make any sense. If you want to get rich, you have to invest your time into it. You have to invest your passion and your love into it. You not just want to get it done really quick. That is a wrong mentality.
Okay, there's a question up here. By the way, Tino, I got so many compliments using your denim technique, and it was by far the fastest and easiest. Do you ever find that people get more excited over simple designs? Does that make any sense?
It's not based on the details. People get excited based on the look of a design. It doesn't matter. The detail is for us. It's for us because we're artists. We pay attention to detail. People don't give a crap about details. You can hold on, let me find my red. You can have something that looks simple, but the detail you put into it is tremendous.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Then they don't give a crap about that. Or you can have something look so complicated, but you only require 1 or 2 steps. Okay, like the wood technique. They don't give a crap about that neither. They don't give a crap about the detail. They just want the look. How much work you put into it. It's matter of what you're making. Your client is not artist. Artists, because we spend our time to do it, to make it, so we consider detail into our work. You know, we be like, this one is this one is, to us it's like, this one is more simple. This one is so intricate. I wonder is it like the simple one or an intricate one. Now the client, they don't give a crap if it's simple or intricate, as long as it look good. And look, a design that look good meaning the right colors, and the right combination of colors, the right patterns. Doesn't mean that it's simple. It doesn't mean that people are looking for simple things. People are just simply looking for things that are flattering. Here these also.
Hi. Guess what?
What's that?
The puppies are sleeping.
That's good.
Took them out and ran around the yard a little bit, trick them with treats.
Now I'm gonna paint the eyeball for her.
You know, I'm kind of paying attention to Cocoa Bunny and Violet's rose nails. Now remember this too, Cocoa Bunny, when you get really, 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 really good and in demand, whatever place you're working at, salon, you're gonna be hated. And you're physically gonna draw that negative energy to you. And if I was gonna throw out some advice, it's build up the clientele. And if you're looking and you need 2 weeks to cover some rent, you almost should consider a different kind of setting to where it's just you. A little studio, office, I don't know. But don't necessarily go for the norm. Because remember, you're not relying on nail service, you're an artist. That's your passion. You're not trying to put on full suits. Like you said, this is a side hustle, but it's obviously a passionate side hustle, and you've got what it takes. You really do. And Tino didn't get where he's at by following the norm.
No, people are so confused when they take me. They are so confused. They're like, "Will you look at my work? It's so pretty. I don't know why I only have 200 followers on my Instagram." And I take a look at their work, and it is pretty. It is pretty, but it's the same shit that I have been seeing everywhere else. There's hundred of thousands of nail artists in social media. If you have ombre, one color now with a glitter fingers, sway, line work, some sway, some squiggly line. Oh, another line work. Oh, some roses. If you keep having the same shit that everybody else have, don't expect hundreds of thousands of followers. How can you get hundreds of thousands of followers if you do the same thing that everybody else do? Then why would they look at you when they have a gazillion of other people to look at? How can you expect to be stand out? Of course you're gonna only have a few hundred followers doing that. You were never gonna exceed unless you put sacrifice into it. There is a certain sacrifice into this. You know, you have to give your thought. You have to add thought into it. You have to take risks, of course. Of course, you follow the mainstream, but you have to add a little touch of yourself into it. And sometimes people accept it, and sometimes they don't. So there is a risk factor that involved in it also that you have to take.
But after the sacrifice and when you're good, you will fill up all the hours, and that's including the quickness that you will develop, but you'll fill all them hours more than you can do.
Yeah, if you get a nail set that let's say you make a nail set that costs $60, and then suddenly now your set costs $300. Of course, the sacrifice is worth it. What are you talking about? People just not willing to make the sacrifice because they're comfortable. So when it boils down to it, we get what we deserve.
Oh, nice.
We really do. We get what we deserve. Of course, people are going to be hating on you too, of course. Your friend, the one that doing the same thing that you did, that doesn't exceed, of course, and then, of course, they're not going to understand it. Why you stay after hour in your studio while they don't do the same things. They go home early, and then they not exceed. Of course, they're going to be mad about it, and of course, they're not going to know why.
And you know, Cocoa Bunny, really, doing them the way you're doing them right now, that's the best way. Because the other thing is when you're good and then you get passionate about it, you don't want your next client sitting there waiting around other people's people, you know? I see the transgression of energies. you know, and really when you're good and glowing and doing what you love and everything, I mean, because when your passion's there, it just builds, and the happiness, their happiness, and it grows. And when all that's aligned, all these things won't be worries anymore.
Cause if you think that the thing that I teach online, if you think everybody gonna be able to do the same thing, you're wrong. Some of your work gonna be better than the others, and you learning from the same source, but some of your work gonna be better than some of the other people work. That is when your passion counts. You can learn the same thing. We all can learn the same secret.
The secret. Well, look at you just over here just cranking out beautiful shit.
So when it boils down to it, there's really no shortcut. You gotta practice, practice, practice. The only convenient thing on this life is that you don't have to pay for it.
Right.
It's the only convenient thing in this life.
I mean, you absolutely can't have any complaints except for anything you didn't put into it.
Right. At the end of the day, we all got what we deserve.
So, the question is do I deserve any noontime sandwiches or possibly some oxtail soup? And I don't deserve shit, do I? I can just tell right now. You're over here in your passionate little painting frenzy, you know, happy and shit. And, you know, I'll just eat a piece of cheese.
Let me find a teal for her.
Teal? So like a green blue.
Okay, now I'm gonna use this darker concoction. It's like a polish that I choose. It's gonna have this teal, this like a deep teal shade. I'm gonna outline it. This is just a polish, by the way, so I have to be careful not to use too much. I don't want them to bleed into each other's. Actually, this red right here, I need to readjust this one just a little bit.
You know, Cocoa Bunny, every time I see you write something, I keep thinking to myself, you really just need to be doing it absolutely by yourself. And I say this because I've seen the struggles and the things that Tino's went through, and then learn the other dynamics of the industry, and it's like the freedom that you create for yourself and the power and the control when you invest the time and when you have the right passion for it. But as soon as you get then it's no longer yours. Is that a good way of putting it, honey?
You just have to be good.
But you have to be good.
You have to be really good. That is your first door for you to obtain that power. Is you have to be good. when you're good, you can fire your client if you want to. If they don't show up or they don't value your time, go ahead and fire them. Raise your price as you like. Choose and pick your client if you want to. There's so many things that the power can give you if you're good. You have to make sure you eliminate all your competition in that town. Eliminate them entirely off the map. If they know something good, you have to know that too.
So what you're saying, Tino, is if you go to work at a salon, you need to show up with cherry pit teeth?
No, not eliminate, like kill them. You have to be better than them.
Oh, okay. And absolutely agree, it is all about upgrading, but the facts is exactly what Tino said. You know, if you want to get there and have control, you got to be better.
You gotta be good. You gotta be better to have control. If you even have a person that can do what you do close to you, you're gonna lose that control. You're not gonna have that control. There is absolutely no rest for a nail artist.
But that depends on, you know, that's a statement for people looking for money and financial means. But if your passion's there and you remain control, and what you're after is happiness and you got the right clients, then if you're missing a couple that went to the other way, but you're happy with the ones you got, then that's all good.
Right. It's not about wanting to keep the client. Control meaning people are bitches and they not respect your time. They never respect your time. You think people go and do now respect your time? They only respect your time if you're good. If you even a little bit replaceable, they will come for you. You think that the girl respect your time just because you're mediocre? No, they only respect you if you're good. Then they will show up on time. They will make sure that they put you as a priorities. But if you're not good, do you think they're gonna do that? No, you're just an option. You're nothing more than an option to them. They're not gonna bow down for you if you're not good. You're not gonna be able to have the control. So now instead of focusing on your art, all you're focusing on is to chase your client around, make sure they come on time. If they don't come on time, then you have to make it work for them. Stuff like that. That's what I mean by control, is that you don't have time to worry about schedule. You have to get to a level where you only do nail and take money. Do art and take money. Nothing else. You're not a bookkeeper.
True. Yeah.
If you sign up to be a bookkeeper, then be my guest. But if you don't want to be a bookkeeper, you have to get to a point where you're really good, so people don't respect your time. They don't, and they will. Of course, it's a van industry. People are catty in the industry. People go and get the nail done. They go get the nail done so they can rub up on their friend faces that they have better nails. Okay? So this is not a very forgiving industry unless you are good and you're not replaceable. Right. But if you are replaceable, please, they're gonna go get the massage section and be late and be about like 30 minutes late, and there's nothing you can really do about that. You're not gonna be able to punish them unless you are good.
You said punish.
If you're good, then you can punish them. You can be like, you need to pay me for my entire section. If you have no kind of show, if you late, don't expect it to be a 2-hour job, expect it to be 1.5 hour job. That is the control that you have to have in order to make your life peaceful. You can wake up, you can do your art, take the money, that's it. Have a few laughs with your client, surrounded by clients that respect you. You know, you have a few laughs, maybe a glass of wine while you're getting your nail done, you know, and you gossip, friendly gossip, having a blast, having a whole day free. And that's, you have to have power to do that. If you don't have power, you're not gonna be able to do that. You're gonna be a servant, a maid in the salon. People come, they expect you to be like that. They expect you to be in your hand and feet. It's a very vain industry. You have to have control. You have to be good.
True facts. And then, it doesn't, when you're good, then it doesn't matter how many filters your husband needs. He gets to ride on your confidence. Ain't that right, honey? Because we like scaring the girls. Okay, I like scaring.
And when I say control, it doesn't mean that you have to be mean to your client. No. You just have to be good until the part where if you say, let's say you say, oh, I can't do your nail anymore. You don't want them to be like, oh, I go down the street. You don't want them to do that. You want them to burst out in tears because there's no one that can do their nail but you.
See, honey, you just sent my mind flashing back 6 or 7 years ago to the lady. And I feel like we should tell the other side of it. Because then when you're really, really good, it comes.
Oh, you
to
mean
a
about
point-
Trinity?
It comes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
come
she
on.
come in.
You
Back
cried.
then, when I do it, I have two hours. She come in, she's gonna have OCD, ADD, whatever.
No, she had a bunch. It was not whatever.
Yeah.
She had several.
And I would say, okay, so what color you feel today? She like, I don't know. All right, well, do you feel like green? She's like, no. You feel pink? No. After 20 color, I like, well, what do you feel? She's like, I don't know. And at that point, it's already 15 minutes in, okay? And I have back-to-back appointments. So then it's a lady that's gonna be way behind because of her. So I don't say anything. At that point, I already concluded I'm gonna put her out.
Put her out.
But I don't say anything.
Like a puppy.
I secretly text Carol and I'm like, I'm going to be 2 hours late. She like, okay, I'll come late. So I like, I'm gonna deal with her. It's gonna be a hot mess. It's gonna be 2 hours late. It's gonna ruin my day, but she's gonna be gone after this. So I spent 3 hours because she take her an hour to just even decide it. But now I know I have all the time in the world, so I'm very
Giving it your best and
giving it,
attentive.
yeah, attentive, very attentive. Be patient, everything. After 3 hours, she like, how much? I say no charge. She immediately no. She like, no, I want to pay, please. I say, no, I don't want to take the money. At that point, she already know. I take a post-it note before that, and I write down a couple of names that I know can do her nails. And then I give it to her. I say, from now on, there'll be other people that will take care of you. This section today is completely free of charge. She bursts out in tears because now she have realized what she have done.
Actually, I think what you said when you pushed the note over is his numbers of some people I think could deal with you.
Yeah, at that point, I was done. I don't want to fix it. At that point, I don't want to fix it. Because people, sometimes we outrage at our client just because we want them to change. At that point, I don't want her to change. I want her out of my life.
And at this point, she's absolutely bawling, crying, all that.
Because it interrupted Carol's section. Now Carol is behind.
She affected somebody else's.
Right.
And
And because she affected somebody else's time, there should be no mercy on her. That is how I deal with my client. Is that I want the best client. I don't want to change them. If they're shitty, I don't want to change them. I just want them out.
But then, she was begging every 3 days for months.
Yeah.
It took like 9 months to get rid of her, including her husband came in at a certain point. I thought I was going to have to do him in with a hammer or something because, fuck, he was begging too.
When
Good
I'm done,
Lord.
I'm done. I never take back what I said.
Oh my God, that was an experience.
But can you imagine if I keep Trinity, my life wouldn't be beautiful now.
Oh, hell no.
It'd be hell. And I don't want my life to be hell. After Trinity gone, everything is smooth sailing again. That's what I'm looking for. It's smooth sailing. I don't want to have to go home and complain about Trinity. I don't want that. I want to go home and say, oh my God, look, we have so much good gossip today with all the clients that we love. We want that. We don't want to go home and bring our work home and be stressed just because that client is extra shitty. We don't want that.
Mm-hmm. And really, the amount of chaos and energy that one person can bring
Catastrophic.
and the way you did that, because that was like, we weren't that deep in our relationship at that point. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I couldn't say anything. I was just observing. I'm watching her just cry and squirm, and oh my God, I loved
Because
it was
I don't
cool.
do it for the sake of just me. At that point, I have 80 different girls, back to back, booking back to back. So my decision that I make have to be because of them girl, all of them, not just one. If they're a person that disrupt that flow, they have to be out. You want a peaceful clientele, a perfect clientele. That's what you want, a perfect clientele. Take me about 3 years to build a perfect clientele. First, I started out with a very cheap base of client. 13 years ago, I started out doing, I think at that point, my set was $41. $41 set, 13 years ago.
Back when no one was wearing long nails.
I end up with a bunch of crazy girls. I don't care. I buy my bullet all the way through it. I don't care. Because I need to hone my skill, so I need guinea pigs to hone my skill, and the girl are my guinea pigs.
Most people look at it.
I buy the bullet.
Guinea pig.
They are so disrespectful. They do no call, no show. Sometimes they don't even show up, and then they call you back, and they're like, some bullshit excuse like, I was in the hospital, so I was late at work. Can you schedule me in tomorrow? I like, yeah, no problem. I was buying my bullet all the way through until one day when I know that I'm good enough to raise the price. And how you know is that, of course, with a cheap price, of course, I can book instantly. My book was full in like a few months. It was full because the price was cheap.
Drink some water.
After about a year, I noticed that I'm constantly having to turn down people because there are people that say, can get me in. And of course, when your book is full, you cannot get in anymore. Okay, let's say your set is $41. If new people ask, I'd be like, well, it's $50. If they don't blink, it's like, okay, can you get me in, please? Whenever, just let me know. Now I know. So now I secretly call in my worst client and say, sorry, Cassandra, but we have to part way now. Okay, if you don't want to do that, then you say, Cassandra, it's $50 now. can you afford it or not, you know. If they can afford it, then you keep them, you move on to the next person and ask them something. If they cannot afford it, then that's when you remove them and you put a new person in. I raise my price slowly like that for over 3 years. And I end up with 150 to 200 a set. And all the good client, but the filter process is slowly. I do it one by one. Because most people, when they raise their price, what they do is that they raise their price on the entire clientele, which is very risky because you can lose half your clientele overnight. You don't want that.
Right, then you're scared, right?
Then you screw. You don't want that. I do it one by one. One person at a time. I call them. After 3 years, because I have outstanding schedule, I don't have to schedule client every time after visit. It's smooth selling. They have a date. Anybody that want an appointment have a date. Let's say Thursday at 6.
Well, let me, not to cut you off, but when I came into the picture and I didn't have any idea about any of it, what I started noticing was those ladies squirming, and then they're like, I want to book out with you for the next year.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? They wanted to fill up that whole slot.
Because the moment they find someone good and they can pay the price for it, they don't want to be turned down. Mm-hmm. So that's when I have the idea of the standing appointment. Anyone that come in the door have a date. Let's say Thursday at 6. That will be every 3 weeks. Okay, that's a date. They have to accept it. If they couldn't afford to do it every 3 weeks consistently, then they're not a client. At that point, I require people to be able to keep up with it now. Cause you want people to be able to do that so you can have an insurance on your business. You will know that money will be you'll be in control of money. How much money every month, you'll be able to calculate it. You're not gonna be able to. It's not gonna be a gamble anymore. Cause now sometimes it's a gamble when you don't know when your client gonna show up. So I have standing appointment for every person that coming in. So when all 80 people have all standing appointment, I no longer have to schedule in an appointment after they visit. They know what day and time to come. It's a very successful business doing it that way. It was private in my own studio. I have never spent a day when I stress anymore. It's all happy-go-lucky because of that, because I handpicked my client.
You got to wake up every day knowing what you were doing. Did you see Gene's things?
If you book 100% of the time with standing, how should we handle that? If what she meant is, how is she move on from that? Like keep taking new one? Is that what she meant?
I'm not exactly sure. But you just know what times you're going to work, how long it's going to take you basically for a client, and that's where you got to recognize your skill. And then if you're 100% booked, at this point, you should know all your clients.
Like this. Because right now, I don't do client, I don't have schedule anymore, but I can show you really quick. So let's say August 8th. Let's say I add in an appointment for Tina at 12 o'clock, right? Tina at 12 p.m. Let's say 2 hours. That's until 2. So this part is Tina, right? Now, what you want to do is you want to repeat it. Come to repeat right here. I have every 3 weeks. So custom, daily, I go weekly. Every 3 weeks. Okay. Done. Okay, now. 1, 2, 3. That's Tina again. 1, 2, 3. That's Tina again. Okay. So you want to go back to it. So that is your Monday at noon. It's already been taken. You can no longer give it to anyone else, so you can make more spot. Monday at 2, Monday at 4, Monday at 6, Monday at 10. Then you make it all repeated. So now your Monday is taken every 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. That whole thing will be taken. So now that is the Monday, August 8th. Every 3 weeks it will be taken, right? So now you go to the next Monday, August 15th. You do the same thing. You repeat it every 3 weeks. And then the Monday after that, August 22nd, you do the same thing. It repeated every 3 weeks. So now all of your Monday is taken. After you done 3 Monday, it's all been taken because it's all repeated. So now you move on to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day you like. And that is a system of back-to-back booking.
And then at that point is where the whole recognition of your skills / extortion / fear factor / all that crap comes in, and they gotta make a sacrifice.
So I think that's what Jean is asking is how do you book back-to-back?
Or how do you grow from there?
How do you grow from there? Now,
you start
when
reproducing, having babies, training.
When you get to 100% of your booking, you have several choice. You can either stay that way, okay, keep your old client. You can choose to advance by raising prices. Then again, it's a very hideous process because hideous.
Hideous. Okay.
Because you have to do it one by one. So again, let's say my price sets right now is 200. Okay. So after I all book, I don't know what to do next. It's booked. Everybody's booked. Everybody's happy. So now let's say I want to raise my price. Okay, so my price right now is how much? $200, right? So I call Becky. Becky been with me for 10 years. So does everybody else. But Becky is more annoying than the rest. She have a lot of drama going on at home. She probably the one that I call first. So I call Becky.
She's getting ready to adopt a child, and we don't want to go through that with her.
Oh, yeah. She definitely the first.
You know what I mean?
First victim is Becky.
One of these days she's going to want to bring the kid or something.
So I call Becky. I say, hi, Becky. My price right now is $250. Can you handle that? Okay. Becky either can choose to accept the $250 or she'll be like, oh, the economy is so bad right now. I couldn't handle it. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have to fill in that spot. Let's go lunch sometime so we can say our goodbye or, I'm sure you know what to say. Anyway, Becky is now out of the picture because Becky couldn't afford $250. So now I go into my Facebook because at that point you should have all the people hounding you. Can I get in? Can I get in? Can I get in? So now I come back to that list because now I have one empty spot. I just remove Becky. So now I have an empty spot that I can fill in with whoever I choose to. New client always excited. But new client, they have new perfection. That you don't know what profession they in. It's gonna be a exciting journey. So you pick one, you pick a client, okay, and you tell them I have an availability. It's like, great. I say, so I have a Thursday at 6 o'clock every 3 weeks. Will you be able to keep up with that? And I hand them, of course, I send them immediately my policy. My policy is very simple. If you couldn't make it to your appointment, you have to notify 24 hours ahead, or it can be 48 hours, whatever you choose. If late cancellation or no call, no show, then you have to pay for your visit. Okay, you have to pay the full price for your visit. That is the first choice that your policy. My policy is different. My policy is if there is a no call, no show, or if you fail to pay your full visit, you will be canceled immediately. So that's my policy. But your policy can be a little more lenient. You can just make them pay, but not kick them out right away. You can make them pay. So that's good too. Hand them the policy immediately. If they choose to accept it, that is your new client. If they cannot, which is most of the time they can, because ordinary people cannot keep up every 3 weeks. You gotta have a little money for that. Okay, so about 7 out of 10 people can't.
Or control of your own work.
Right. So you just go through the list of the people and you just choose them until you find one, a new client that accepts $250 every 3 weeks. Now you're good. Celebration. Take up your champagne and celebrate because that's your new client. That should take about a few days to find, assuming that you already have people hounding you on your Facebook. Then after Becky, after the celebration, you move on to the next. You call Diana, same thing again. Diana, my price right now is $250. Can you handle that? You know, if Diana can handle that, you know, she it might be a little difficult for her. At that point, it's okay if she can handle that. If she couldn't, but she try not to lose her spot, then you just have to give her an advice that.
Don't fuck this up. Wait for another slot. We'll take this.
Or it's better up if I can send you to someone cheaper. You know, I have a friend. She charge cheaper price if you want her, because you don't want people to try to afford the appointment.
Right.
Then again, they make it difficult too. You want people to be able to afford it, easy breezy. What if they refuse to pay? Oh,
they're done.
Great. Yeah, they're done.
Yay, we found out early.
If I have 80 people that each one of them spend years to find their way in, to finally get a spot from me, if they don't pay, no problem. It's free nails. Goodbye. No one will ever risk that.
Right.
If you spend years to get in,
when you do this method,
you were not gonna mess this thing up. You have to make sure that the spot that they have with you is far more valuable than their money. Far more valuable. If they have to go to so much to get a spot in with you, because you know when you book, the gossip gonna spread fast. Do you know that person is booked? Oh, you know Tino, you know that client. You cannot get into Tino. You know that? You couldn't get into Tino. You couldn't. The moment that rumor get out, they want you even more.
Right.
So when they spend years and years trying to find and get in, money is it should no longer be an object of discussion. They will not try to cheat you or not pay. Oh, please.
Right.
People are begging to pay. When they spend years to find a spot, they are begging to get in. There will be no such scenario as they're gonna run out the door without paying. That's back in the day. That's back in the ratchet day when I only charged $40 a nails. But now, $200, $300, that's no problem, because now the spot is far more valuable than the cost of the set.
Yep. And that's how you pick and choose the best.
And even if you have a person that remotely close to your skill in your town, but they don't do the same thing that you do, you know, they always have available and you don't have availability. Guess what? You're still far more valuable than them. Because now you're hard to get in. If you are hard to get in, you're valuable. People want you. Girl wants something that they don't have. Now let's see. Oh, I want to do like a weird bridge that have. Oh, this one right here. I want to do this one.